Hello there, friends. This is Jimmy Maverick, and I want to help you win your fantasy draft this season. So today we're going to talk about my app, My Perfect Fantasy Draft, and we're going to show you how this is going to help you dominate your league on draft day and draft the best team possible. Now, this app is a web-based app. It's available exclusively through my website, ffmaverick.com, and it can be utilized on any web-connected device. So it scales to whether or not you're on a cell phone or a tablet or a full-size computer. It scales to whatever device you're on, so you can easily use it from anything, okay? Now, let's just talk about how this works. When you first bring up the app, you will see that it sorts and values all the players according to standard points. So if that's all you play in is standard point leagues, you are good to go. But if you are in a league that scores points differently, I will show you how to set that up in just a few minutes. But you can see down here that it has calculated projected points for all the players, and it's assigned a value to all the players. Now, the players are ordered in what I call their modified average draft position, MADP, and what this is just their average draft position over the prior 5 days. This is designed to give you the most accurate idea as to when your favorite players are being picked, so you can be strategic about what players you want to target during the draft. The nice thing about the valuation is you can use the valuation to compare against the average draft position to see if, in fact, that player is a good choice or not. Now, I'm just going to go through a couple of examples. If we look down the list here, Allen Robinson, okay, his value is currently 32nd overall, yet he's being picked 14th overall. That means that Allen Robinson is a bad choice for this league. If we go a little bit farther down the list, you'll see someone like Eddie Lacy down here. His value is 9th overall, yet he's being picked 25th overall. That means he's a great choice for your standard points leagues. So this is a super easy way for you to know if the player is a good deal or a bad deal, all right? And it helps you avoid the bad value players. If we go a little bit farther along here, you'll see all these little icons next to the players. If you want to find out what these icons mean, you just hit the legend button. It'll explain what they all mean. Likewise, it gives you what all the different columns are. If you want more information about the player, you just click on their name and it opens up additional information, including their key stats, their historic stats. It shows you their 2016 projections, commentary about the player, and also any injury notes if they have any. And finally, there's a news link. So if you just click on this, it's going to take you to the Roto-World page for that player, and you'll be able to see all their latest headlines. So you're always up on the latest information. To close this information, just click their name again. That closes it up. We've got additional pieces of information, including their outlook, 1 to 5 star rating. 5 is best. If they have a 4 or a 5-star rating, that means I have a positive outlook on the player, and it means they have a good chance to exceed their projections this year. 3-star means I'm neutral. 1 or 2 stars means I have a negative outlook on the player, and it means that they're probably going to underperform their projections in the upcoming year. You got position, team, bye week. We already talked about projected points, and we have 2 ratings here which are exclusive to this to my app, the consistency rating and the reliability ranking. Okay, you want consistent and reliable players on your team. A consistency is on a scale of 1 to 10. Obviously, the higher is the better. And if you look at someone like Antonio Brown, he scores an 8 on consistency. That means from week to week, his usage, meaning his targets and his carries, were very consistent. You compare that against someone like AJ Green, his consistency ranking is only 4, and I'm sure if you had AJ Green last year, he was a very frustrating player to hold because his usage was hard to trust on a week-to-week basis. Some weeks he was huge, some weeks he completely disappeared, and that of course murders your fantasy team. You want the high rating on the consistency. The reliability ranking is a ranking of how many games have they missed on average over the past 3 seasons. If they've missed less than 2 games on average, they would get a high ranking. If they've missed between 2 to 5 games on average, they would get a mid ranking. And if they've missed more than 5 games per year on average, they would get a low ranking. Okay, again, the players don't do you any good when they're sitting on your bench. You want players that you can start every week. So you want high ratings and mid ratings for all your players. Now, let's say you need to set up a different point schedule. So if you go over here to step 1, you click on this. And as you can see, I already have some other leagues set up here. But if this is your first time coming to the app, this will be blank except for this Add New Profile button. So you just click on the Add New Profile, and it brings up this information that allows you to put in the points for the offensive players. Right now, I don't do any ratings for defensive players. I just rank them. So like I said, if we did something really quick, and I'm just going to put in some numbers real quick. -1, rushing yards 10, 6. Go points per reception, receiving yards 10 yards equals 1 point. Receiving touchdowns, we'll go 4. Fumbles lost -1, and we won't do anything. Well, I will do something for return yards. I'll put in 20 yards equals 1 point. So once you've done it, you just save and apply. And as you can see, it recalculates. And up here, you'll see now that instead of saying standard points, it says Jimmy Maverick. So it's got the new league point schedule in there. The projected points have changed substantially from where they were before. And you'll see the valuation of the players has also changed substantially. So let's look down here at Allen Robinson. Oh, he didn't move that much. Actually, that's kind of surprising. He's still ranked 30th overall in this PPR league. Again, still not a good choice. I think I would stay away from Allen Robinson this season. Whereas Eddie Lacy, he's still a good player. He's still undervalued, as you can see, but he's not as valuable in PPR leagues because he doesn't catch. He does catch some passes. Okay, he catches about maybe 35 passes a season, but it's not like someone like Mark Ingram or Devonta Freeman, who the guys caught like 70 passes last season. Okay, and they're a lot more valuable for your fantasy league. So that's how that works. And you can set up as many leagues as you want. And when you want to switch between leagues, you just click on one of the other leagues. It'll just recalculate, and just takes a second. Boom, there you go. Now the projected points have been changed and the valuations have been modified again. So that's how that works. Now the final step is that you're going to want to filter unwanted players off your list. So I've got over 30 different filters here that you can use. And again, so if we want to get rid of all the low reliability players, you just check low. Everyone with a low reliability ranking is removed from your list. You don't want anybody that changed teams in the off season, new team, just click on that. Boom. All the free agents that change teams are off your list. If you don't want any running backs over the age of 28, just click on that, and it defaults to 28. But one of the nice things is you can set that criteria to whatever you want. If you want to make 30 your criteria, that'll put players back on. If you want to make it 26 because you're hardcore about having young guys as backs, you can do that. So it gives you the ability to modify the variables on most of these players. Excuse me, anyone 38-year-old running backs, that would never work. You also have like these overvalued filters, and what this is if their value less their ADP is greater than 10, they would fall off your list. So you can avoid the overvalued guys off your list. If you want to be more restrictive, you can lower that number, make it only 5, and that will get rid of more players. If you want to be more lenient, you can make it a higher number, like 15. And so that's how you create a fully customized draft list in just a few minutes. It's just that easy to do. And then what I like to recommend is once you've got your list all done, you go into some mock drafts and you do some mock drafts with your list. This allows you to figure out if you're being too restrictive, if you're finding large gaps in your list where there's no players available because you've eliminated them all. It's a good idea to practice with that. And I just want to add that this list is dynamic. It gets updated every single day based on what's happening in the offseason. Players get injured. Players, their ADP starts to rise or fall substantially based on what's happening. I mean, look at Jay Ajayi. He was being drafted in like the 50s, and then they went and they brought in Arian Foster. The guy's dropped to like the 120s now. He's completely irrelevant, and that's just in the matter of a week. So anyway, you will always find the latest information on this list. What I like to recommend is when you go into draft day, just print yourself a list that day, so you have the latest information on your players, and that's the best way to do this. Likewise, you can just have this on your phone while you're drafting on your computer. There's a number of different ways to get the list. You can print the list. You can have it emailed to yourself. You can export it to a CSV file, so you can put it onto an Excel spreadsheet. And if you have any other criteria that you want to put in there, you can put that criteria in as well. So it's very flexible, and it's going to allow you to easily see the best players for your league this season. All right. So that's it. That's all there is to it. Thank you very much for taking the time to watch this video. I appreciate it, and have yourself an epic fantasy season.